CTV Kidz presents the Kidz View. And now, the Kidz View.
Welcome to Kidz View. I'm Victoria and I go to Marsh Avenue Expeditionary Learning School.
Hi, I'm Olivia and I go to PS30.
Hi, I'm Gianna and I also go to Marsh Avenue Expeditionary Learning School.
I'm Dan and I go to Tottenville High School.
I'm Matt and I go to Staten Island Tech.
I never experienced a middle school that's split like a high school on the other side. So tell me, what do you guys see outside of your school?
Outside of our school, there's the sidewalk, and then right across is the mall. And a lot of times, if you look out the window, you'll see high school students smoking cigarettes or electric cigarettes. And I just don't think that the middle school should be exposed to it.
I agree. Do you think that those are the kids that cut usually? Because if you're in class?
Because if we're in class and it's in the middle of the day, it just makes sense that they have to be cut in class, because where are they supposed to be?
Yeah,
they're supposed to be in school.
Because we have gym on the football field, which is, you have to cross the street to go there. So we'll be, for our next period class, we'll have to cross the street and we'll see them there. So if they're supposed to be in class, then they're cutting class.
Does it make you guys feel uncomfortable having them around?
Kind of, because I walk through the smoke and I smell it, and it's like secondhand smoke, and it's kind of not fair because it has the same effect as if I was the one smoking. And so it's not really fair, but...
Do you guys feel it like
I feel like I'm smoking.
Yeah, it's like just the mist and like the environment. It's just them. You go back to class and everything, and then you'll see them in the hallway, because there's a hallway that we share, and you'll see them, and sometimes they're smoking outside, but then when they're inside, they have them out anyway, but they're not smoking.
I heard that you two were in a group called Reality Check.
Yeah, Reality Check is a youth-led group, and it's all about point of sale to the youth. Because when you guys did that video, and you were talking about how when you walk into a deli, right away all you see is Marlboro, Newport, I think it's called, and Camel, and all these cigarettes right behind the candy and the soda and the gum and whatever you guys want to buy. And actually recently, because you told me when we were in there, when you open the door, you go to open the door, they now have the sign on the door, so when you're reaching for your hand right away before you even walk in the store, they have the sales like right there.
That's true, but it's also, not only is it like adults, they reach their hands out, they see it, but sometimes it could be at kids' eye level too.
Yes, Target's like they want you guys to be intrigued by the colors of the packaging and the new flavors, and how I don't know, the hookah pipe that recently is like the new thing? A lot of kids my age are going for that instead of cigarettes, because it's different flavors. They have like chocolate, blue Hawaii, and it's like wherever you go, you could get this hookah pipe, which is flavored tobacco, and it's supposed to be better for you, and it's really not. It's just the same chemicals and makeup as cigarettes.
We do that for the new e-cigarettes too, which I know I'm seeing a lot more of those, like in the delis.
Yeah. The kids outside our school, I could tell the difference because they look different, but then you can see that that's what they smoke, electric cigarettes.
Do you think this group, Reality Check, has changed anybody's idea of smoking?
Well, actually, in our school, we've been posting, different flyers to open students' eyes to the different, chemicals and different things that cigarettes are not good for you. Why are you smoking them? There's a kid in my Italian class who smokes, and he's a freshman. And the kid behind him is like, Alex, why are you smoking? This is crazy. This is disgusting. You know, you're gonna grow up and you're gonna be like smoking still with like the hands. And he's like, this is why? Just stop. And the girl behind him goes, yeah, that's disgusting. So other kids are saying to them, this is something you shouldn't be doing. And they're actually being like nice about it too. They're like awareing them. And it, like, you know, if you're with your peers, you would want someone to tell you, you know what, you should stop. This isn't cool. You're not being nice, you know, you're picking on this. It's the same thing. It's when you're realizing that someone else is harming themselves. They're putting themselves in a position where they're endangering their health.
Well, you know, New York City did just pass a bill. It's now raising the tobacco purchasing age from 18 to 21. I mean, so I think that's a good thing. And, you know, like, by raising the age, you're giving, like, kids in high school, like, you're giving them another 4 years to educate themselves and, you know, mature and become more aware of, like, you know, like the health hazards of, you know, smoking, not just for you, but like you said before, the secondhand smoke in the hallways, out in the streets, you know. Smoking doesn't just affect you, it affects, like, everyone around you.
Because they breathe the air of the secondhand smoke, and it's, like she said, just like as if you were smoking.
Yeah.
People in your family and everything, they don't want you to smoke, but sometimes it's secondhand smoke, so people in your family they feel like they're smoking anyway. They're walking through your smoke. It's just, if they decide not to smoke, they shouldn't have to deal with it anyway.
Yeah, I think that I like that they raised the age of smoking from 18 to 21 because that gives, you know, a senior in high school, you have a lot more time to be, by the time you're 21, you're more mature and you're more educated on the dangers of smoking, and you're more likely to not make that decision to smoke that when you're 21 than when you were 18 and all your friends were smoking.
They're more focused on their path. They're like, you know what? That's not for us anymore. We're past that stage. And they're like, wow, you know, we got a great job going for us. I got an internship coming up. Their mindset is totally different. When you're 18 or 16, you're like, you know what, I still got a couple years before I have to worry about that. But now that they changed it, I think it's like a step towards where we want to be, and I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, you're more likely to not smoke when you're 21 than when you were 18. Because when you're 18, the reason you usually smoke is because your parents smoke and you get their cigarettes, or if your friends are smoking and you see them, or if you're intrigued by all like the colors of the smoking behind the cashier and the deli or stuff, you're gonna want to pick up a cigarette and try it. But if they're making you wait until you're 21, now you're gonna think further into why I shouldn't smoke, because I don't want to get, you know, hooked on it and smoke for the rest of my life and cause like a bad future for myself.
And it's also because by the time you're 21, you're probably not going to smoke, because then when you were 18, because by then you have been smoking for 3 years and you're probably going to continue to smoke, but by the time you're 21, you're more mature and you know better.
I think it's good that they restricted 18-year-olds from being able to smoke, because if a 17-year-old walked into a deli and ordered cigarettes and they didn't ask for ID, they might be able to pass as 18, whereas if an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old went to buy cigarettes and they realized that they're definitely not 21, so that's restricting 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds from smoking, so I think that's a good thing.
It's a big age gap between 18 and 21. You know, by the time you're 21, you're in college, you have a lot more like freedoms. Whereas you're 18, you know, you're most likely you're still living at home, you're in high school. So, you know, once you're 21, you know, you have more freedoms and you also have more responsibilities. So, you know, you got to think before you got to think about what you purchase. So,
I'm actually going to relate this to a reality check. When we had the skit, it was about peer pressure and how, you know, some kids were just like, you know what, it was Halloween night, this is the skit we did. And Liable, who was supposed to be the eldest out of the group, he actually purchased the cigarettes because he's like, you know what, this is Halloween night, we could do this, you know. And you know about that, right? Okay, so they were all in the deli, which was in your video, and how like it was so easy to just say, oh, I'll have a pack, you know. It was very simple. And they all got it, and then when they went outside to smoke, they actually saw a man walking by. This is what we did. And we had our friend dressed up as a man, and he ended up having, the effects of cigarettes, and they thought it was a costume. So they walked up to him and was like, wow, your great costume. And they were like so freaked out when they realized he had like the gum, the cancer, the fingers were gone. He's like, I guess this shouldn't be for us guys because we don't want to look like that, So different views of seeing different effects. Like Marie Wilkins, we had her come to a reality check event, and she spoke about how her years of smoking. Back then, it was glamorized. In the movies, they were smoking on airplanes, in every restaurant. It was like, it was fun for them. They were like, they held it out. It was different. Now it's like, you're disgusting. It's a totally different.
Yeah, now she has Berger's disease, and she's in a wheelchair. She's like missing parts of her feet. She's only got, like, some fingers are completely cut off, others just like stubs. So had to like adapt to, using like 3 fingers. Instead of, your usual 5.
And she got her feet amputated. And actually her friends are still smoking. And when she told me that, I was like, are you kidding? Your best friends are still smoking. They see what you've gone through in your family. I was like, these people must be really addicted to keep continuing on this way. This is crazy. I was so shocked when she told me.
Yeah, she did mention that, like, her family, they were really concerned for her because they were watching her suffer through this.
Like the video about the marketing and the targeting that we were all in. And it was like an everyday life of a kid. It's called Through Our Eyes because it's of how we go into convenience stores and we see the targeting and the marketing, like the colorful cigarettes.
Yeah, I think the video was mostly about power walls and targeting the children, and it was mostly about how the marketing, the tobacco industries are marketing so then they could target the children, and they make these power walls and they make them so bright, and they put signs everywhere so that you'll see it and you'll want to try to smoke, so then you'll smoke the rest of your life and they can make a lot of money.
Yeah, we spoke about how the cigarettes, they're targeting children. We know they don't want children to smoke. We know that they want children to grow up to smoke. So that's basically what we talked about in the video.
Let's take a look.
I would usually buy candy, or they have bacon, egg, and cheese at the store, and I also buy sometimes like chips and stuff. And then they have the glass counters, and you see the cigarettes all over the place. And they look nice. Like everything that they sell that's dangerous for you always looks cute. It's like the poisonous butterflies, the caterpillars, they look really nice. But then you touch them and you poison, you might die.
Say if I go to 125th and Lex, everywhere it's cigarettes. I saw 7 stores that had cigarette advertisements, and it was just 7 stores on the block.
You usually see like orange and white, and they're in a poster and they say they're good for you, and like they'll give you a great experience, and they're usually really big.
My name's Victoria. I go to school at PS30 in Staten Island, New York, and it's kind of the center of Staten Island. Every time I go into a convenience store, I see them on the back wall, and they're so bright, and I know that they do that on purpose so that kids will see it.
If you see something bright, you're gonna notice it. At least they don't put like fancy lights all around it, like, look at this, like with big arrows pointing, cigarettes, cigarettes, that would be weird.
When you get inside the store, you just see it, like they have like a big poster there, so like you just can't miss it. Wherever you go, you'll see it.
In the deli, right by the counter, I find that very strange because it's so bad. Why are they selling them in the store? They really shouldn't be having them at all.
You always see the big posters, the bright colors. They're always there right in front of you. It's like an attack when you walk in.
A lot of kids are attracted to bright colors. That's kind of how we pick out our clothes. When you're trying to buy something and you're at the cash register and your eye just goes straight to that.
And they have the big boxes of cigarettes like laying in the window where you can see right when you get off the train. And I was thinking, like, why would they do that? Because children ride the train, adults ride the train, but like the little kids would see the colorful boxes of cigarettes, like it looks like candy.
I think that sometimes since they see that it's in the same place as the candy, they might think that it's good. It's right next to the candy and candy is good, so maybe cigarettes are good too.
I don't really go to see them. I don't go to see them. Sometimes it just catches my eye.
I can understand if someone wants to smoke and they know the dangers of smoking, okay, that's their life, they should be able to decide. But why should they be putting ads everywhere, pushing kids to smoke? Kids don't know the dangers of smoking, so it's not nice to the kids that they're basically just like targeting them.
They make them look attractive. It's like the light, it's like colorful. They make them colorful, like they make them like bright red and bright green.
They make it sound interesting.
Yeah, they make it sound fun.
I'm pretty sure they don't want like little kids to be smoking, but those kids, they might want them to grow up and become smokers.
I think it encourages kids to smoke, or maybe they'll remember it for the rest of their lives, and then maybe one day they'll come back to it.
The kids, they see it, right? And they're probably gonna say, oh, that looks so cool, I'm gonna try it when I'm older.
As they grow up, they'll think, oh yeah, it's okay, it's fine, I can do this for as long as I want. It's not gonna hurt me, because they've grown up with it.
You kind of get used to it, like how you would see like a poster in your bedroom, you just get used to it.
When you see cigarettes there, you see it everywhere, and we adapt to them, we get used to them, they're normalized to us.
About 2 blocks away from our school, there's a corner store that advertises cigarettes. They sell cigarettes there. And they also sell candy, and the children, every morning they go to school and they buy breakfast there. The kids would just go and they see the cigarette advertisement and be like, oh, I want to buy some cigarettes, because it's in big colorful letters and stuff, like this Newport and Marlboro and stuff, and they'll be like, ooh, it looks nice because they're colorful and everything.
I walk from the academy and I pass by this store that sometimes I buy some stuff. They had this sign like right on the counter that said about something about the cigarettes, and there were multiple ones in the back too. Many kids, they take the way that I do down the bridge, and like that's like the first store you see. You know how to cross the street, and so many kids are in there. Like I don't think it's right at all.
Well, usually the bottom is all chocolate, then the counter is lottery tickets and gum and whatever magazines, and then the whole back wall, like wallpaper, is just all cigarettes and get your attention.
When I walk in and get something, they're on all these shelves right in front of the cashier, so it's like easy to spot out.
There's usually a lot of boxes, they never run low.
It is a very tempting thing, like right behind the counter. I think it makes them seem like it actually is not that bad, like than what is being told to them in school.
When you look straight, you see all those cigarettes, and that kind of advertises the product, and that's how people kind of started.
I hear MELBRONE. Yeah, I hear Melbourne in my head.
I think there's one called Marlboro or something like that.
Marlboro.
Marbello, something like that.
Marlboros, Newports, Lucky Strike, Camel.
I see silver, orange, red, yellow.
Red.
Marlboro.
Green.
Newport.
Blue.
Parma.
How about yellow?
I think that's Camel.
There are different color Marlboros and Camels, and certain types of Marlboros, I think.
Like, I wouldn't even have cigarettes, first of all. Like, I don't know if I owned a store, I wouldn't even sell them. I'm a store, so I make profit off of the other things, like food and stuff that everyone buys. Like, I don't need to make profit off the cigarettes.